What happened, happened. We are at 1-1 and heading toward a Week 3 matchup against the Commanders, and this game is already shaping up to be critical for the Raiders. Monday night's loss to the Chargers was ugly, no way around it. The defense kept the team in the game, holding Los Angeles to just 20 points despite constantly being put in tough situations, but the offense simply could not deliver. And while there's been plenty of noise this week about Tom Brady being spotted in the coaching booth with a headset on, that drama is nothing compared to the much bigger problem this team needs to solve if they want to turn things around before Sunday. What's up, Raiders fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. Okay, so the problem started when cameras caught Brady with a headset on, sitting right there in the booth, which immediately sparked a storm of speculation. Was he secretly involved in game planning? Was he passing along information to Chip Kelly and the Raiders coaching staff? ESPN even ran a report suggesting Brady meets with Kelly 2 or 3 times a week to go over game plans and film. So, here is the main issue. Tom Brady is actually a minority owner of the Raiders, plus he just signed a massive 10 years, $375 million deal with Fox as an analyst. What's conflict here? As a media analyst, he can access any team's coaching staff, and as a team owner, he can sit with Raiders coaching booth. So now other analysts are claiming that this is basically an unseen advantage that the Raiders are taking with Tom Brady. Raiders head coach Pete Carroll quickly shut down all allegations by saying it wasn't accurate, and that Brady has been following every NFL rule that applies to his unique role as both a minority owner of the team and a broadcaster for Fox. The NFL itself weighed in, saying that Brady didn't violate any rules by being in the booth or wearing a headset. According to their statement, he's not allowed to attend practices or production meetings at the facility, but he is allowed to sit in the booth as a limited partner during a game, as long as he doesn't use any electronic devices beyond the league-issued equipment. So, from a rules standpoint, nothing illegal happened here. Adam Schefter even said on ESPN Radio that he believes people are overreacting to the situation and that Brady understands what's professional and moral. Others, like Chris Canty, pointed out that while it's legal, it still gives the Raiders a competitive edge because Brady's football mind and access to conversations with coaches around the league could indirectly help his own team. The whole thing is fascinating, and it has clearly become a talking point for fans and the media, especially because Brady's involvement is so visible. But the reality is, whether you believe Brady is simply observing or subtly influencing the team, this is not the main thing holding the Raiders back right now. The real problem is on the field, and it's glaringly obvious when you watch the tape from their Week 2 loss to the Chargers. The Raiders fell 20-9 in their home opener, and while the defense did a respectable job limiting the Chargers to just 20 points despite tough field position, the offense completely sputtered. When you break down the film, the issues jump out immediately. On the very first play of the game, Gino Smith ran a play-action pass targeting Trey Tucker on a quick slant. The Chargers' safety read it perfectly, nearly intercepted it, and the tipped ball ended up in the hands of a linebacker for an immediate turnover. That set the tone. From there, the Raiders' offense never found a rhythm. Smith threw 3 interceptions on the night, some of them in heavy traffic, clearly pressing and trying to force plays that weren't there. But the interceptions are really just a symptom of a deeper problem. The run game was almost non-existent, and the offensive line was completely overwhelmed. Ashton Jeanty only carried the ball 11 times. He actually had some promising runs, gains of 6-9, even 13 yards, showing flashes of what he can bring to this offense. But for some reason, Chip Kelly went away from the run game far too early, relying on Gino Smith to push the ball through the air against a defense that was sitting back and daring the Raiders to be patient. Jeanty is not a gadget player. He's a volume back who gets stronger as the game goes on. Limiting him to just 11 carries is not the formula for success, especially when the passing game is struggling. Now, part of the reason for the lack of commitment to the run might be the offensive line's struggles. Even when the Raiders used max protection with 8 blockers, they still couldn't keep the pocket clean. There was a key third down play where it looked like they were prepared for a blitz off the edge, but instead, the Chargers disguised it perfectly. Safety Derwin James came on a delayed blitz while Khalil Mack ran a stunt, creating a mismatch against a running back in pass protection. Mack got a free run to Gino Smith for an easy sack. That wasn't a one-time breakdown either. Over and over, there were missed assignments and communication failures. Sometimes, 2 Raiders linemen ended up blocking the same defender, while another rusher came through untouched. Center Jordan Meredith had a particularly rough game with several bad snaps, some high, some low, throwing off the timing of plays. He was also physically beaten at the point of attack multiple times. Dylan Parham got pushed back into the quarterback's lap on more than one occasion, collapsing the pocket from the inside. These aren't just technique issues, they point to a lack of cohesion and communication across the entire unit. And without a solid offensive line, you can't run the ball effectively or protect your quarterback. That brings us back to Jeanty. It's not just about giving him more carries, it's about setting him up for success. Right now, he's often being hit in the backfield before he even has a chance to get going. There was one play where tight end Michael Mayer, lined up as a fullback, was supposed to get out in front and block to the edge. Instead, he got caught helping on another block and ended up colliding with Jeanty, completely blowing up the play. These kinds of mistakes are fixable, but they happen too often. Jeanty also has to hold up his end of the bargain by improving his pass protection. It's clear from the tape that he's still adjusting to the speed and complexity of NFL blitzes compared to what he saw at Boise State. But the coaching staff knew that would be part of his development when they drafted him. You don't spend the 6th overall pick on a running back just to ease him in slowly. The bigger issue is that this team doesn't have a clear identity on offense right now. In Week 1, there were some encouraging adjustments and creativity. In Week 2, it felt like they had no answers. The Chargers' defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, called a brilliant game, constantly disguising coverages and keeping everything in front of them. Raiders receivers like Dante Thornton Jr. and Trey Tucker never got behind the defense. Even when Smith rolled out to buy time, receivers sometimes made questionable decisions, like breaking deep instead of sticking to the sideline, leading to desperation throws and turnovers. The good news is that help might be on the way. The first injury report of the week brought some encouraging signs. Rookie offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson, who has been out with a concussion, was listed as limited. If he can clear protocol and return to the lineup, it could provide a huge boost to the interior of the line. For Washington, quarterback Jaden Daniels did not practice with a knee injury. If he can't go, Marcus Mariota would start in his place. That's a significant factor because while Mariota can run the same plays, he doesn't bring the same explosiveness or upside as Daniels. This could tilt the matchup slightly in the Raiders' favor, especially if their defense continues to build on the progress it showed against the Chargers. But again, none of that will matter if the offense can't move the ball. The keys are straightforward. Get Powers Johnson back to stabilize the line, commit to giving Jeanty 20-plus carries, and simplify the blocking schemes to eliminate communication breakdowns. Protect Gino Smith so he can reset mentally and play within himself instead of forcing throws. And most importantly, establish a physical identity.